Extra, extra, read all about it. Breaking news, a contrastive analysis of Quiche and English has arrived.
Let's discuss the Quiche language, a Mayan language spoken by the Quiche people in Guatemala's Central Highlands. With over 1 million speakers, it's the second most common language in Guatemala after Spanish. Notably, it's among the most spoken indigenous languages in Mesoamerica and is officially recognized as a minority language by the Guatemalan government. This recognition has led to increased attention in schools and local media supporting its preservation. The name Quiche originates from local forests with approximately 23 varieties spoken in Guatemala. The most prevalent one, spoken by over 1 million people, is comparable in size to Tennessee. With the history dating back over 400 years to the Spanish conquest, many Mayans in Guatemala still call Quiche their home, actively preserving their culture. For the Quiche people, their language is integral to their culture and history. There's a strong emphasis on its preservation, with efforts to teach children in both Quiche and Spanish. This ancient and complex language is passed down through stories, and there's a current push to revitalize it, especially among younger generations. Schools are incorporating Quiche, materials are being published in the language, and the community encourages its daily use to safeguard their rich heritage for the future. Here is an example of a Quiche text with its English translation along with a video. This document has sacred importance to the community.
Let's begin by exploring the linguistic features. Quiche is a Mayan language and has some interesting characteristics. It's tonal, which means the pitch can change the meaning of a word. It also has complex grammar and a big vocabulary. Plus, it has a history of storytelling, both orally and in writing, going way back in time. Now, when it comes to Quiche, how people speak it can vary in different regions. There are differences in words, pronunciation, and grammar. The version spoken in the Quiche department, called Central Quiche, is often considered the standard form. English is the most widely spoken language globally, and each language has its unique features. An authentic example of a native Quiche speaker is here, Lorenzo, and it's provided. We will now examine each linguistic feature separately.
In Quiche, longer words are formed by combining different phonemes, and pronunciation is intricate. It is 5 vowels that can be long or short, avoiding certain sounds while included pulmonic and affricates. Emphasis typically falls on the last part of the word in Quiche. You can see the Quiche vowels and consonants with pronunciation listed here. In English, there's a broader consonant range, including voiced and voiceless fricatives and affricates. English has a complex vowel system with 19 phonemes. English words are generally shorter, with stress patterns impacting meaning, as seen in examples like conflict versus conflict and permit versus permit.
Quiche is a polysynthetic language, allowing the combination of multiple morphemes in a single word, facilitating the expression of complex ideas in a concise manner. The language does this by adding bits to verbs that show things like when something happened or how it happened and who did it. They can also stick together different words to make new ones, like saying it's hand or arm of the tree to mean the branch or leaf pine. On the other hand, English is a simpler language. It doesn't make words as long and doesn't use as many parts in one word. Instead, English relies on the other words to make sense and uses verb changes and extra words to talk about when things happened or who did them. In English, verbs like walk, walks, and walked, and nouns like cat, cats, can change a bit, but is not as complicated as in Quiche. English also has a fixed word order of subject, verb, object. and a straightforward way of changing verbs.
Orthography is representation of sounds of a language by written or printed symbols. Quiche originally used hieroglyphics, but now employs the Latin script with additional symbols for specific sounds. It follows standardized orthography, ensuring a strong phonemic representation. Noun roots often have a CVC phonological structure, for example, kick for blood and nun for mother. Some nouns change their root when indicating possession, like ja, house, becoming wauchu, my house. Plural forms adopt a suffix, altering long vowels to short vowels. As you can see on the image, hieroglyphics were often intricate carvings of stories. In contrast, English also uses the Latin script, has 26 letters representing 44 phonemes. However, the same letters can represent different sounds, introducing challenges and irregularities in spelling. English orthography consists of layers. The alphabet ensures a one-to-one correspondence between letters and sounds. The pattern reflects the 44 sounds the 26 letters make, and the meaning layer involves groups of letters conveying meaning, such as prefixes, suffixes, Greek, and Latin roots.
Grammatics in Quiche involves considering factors such as the listener's identity, societal rules, and the importance of respect. In Quiche, only one person speaks at a time, and word order typically is verb, object, subject, which holds significance. Quiche speakers may be more direct than English speakers, and politeness is expressed differently. Affixes indicate the doer and recipient of actions, with distinctions for singular and plural in first, second, and third person. Politeness remains consistent across ownership, objects, or subjects, reflecting the importance of respect in the Guatemalan culture. Nonverbal cues like eye contact, grooming, and seeking permission in medical contexts also convey respect. Contrastingly, English uses a subject-verb-object word order. English speakers adjust communication based on factors like age, gender, and social status. Turn-taking is a common practice, but cultural influence may alter this dynamic. In English, assumptions and unspoken understandings are often relied upon, which indicate language used for politeness. Nonverbal cues in English include gestures, body language, and idioms. Pragmatics plays a role in how users interpret direct and indirect speech, contributing to effective communication. As an example of the Mayan daily life is attached on the embedded video.
In Quiche, many words have context-dependent meanings. The language is deeply rooted in Mayan vocabulary with some Spanish borrowings. Cultural context plays a vital role in semantic interpretation, especially seen in diverse ways to say pick, based on the plant's physical properties. Quiche has precise words capturing cultural nuances, offering more specific terms than English in certain domains. These distinctions reflect unique Quiche cultural concepts related to traditions, folklore, and daily life experiences. The image displayed is an example of the importance of art in the Mayan culture. This artist, Ardon, works to contribute to her family as well as strengthen her community. In English, words also have multiple meanings, relying heavily on context. Denotative and connotative meanings, along with rich vocabulary, contribute to semantic complexity. Figurative language is deeply tied to English culture, requiring contextual understanding. The diverse English vocabulary results from incorporating loan words from various languages.
In Quiche, putting words together to make sentences follow a specific pattern of who did what to whom. This language is a bit complex because it adds extra parts to verbs, making sentences longer. You can see and hear examples of this in the attached videos. In English, things are simpler. It uses the order of words and helper words to show when something happened or who did it. English sentences usually follow a pattern of who did the action, what the action was, and who or what it was done to. Understanding how sentences are built in English is important to know what they mean, and it involves understanding the meanings and forms of words and how they will relate to each other.
Native Quiche speakers may struggle with English due to linguistic differences in phonics, word order, vocabulary, and orthography, leading to potential misunderstandings in semantics and syntax. Pronunciation challenges arise from distinct phonetic sounds and differences in sentence structure. With Quiche using verb, object, subject, and English using subject, verb, object can cause confusion. Significant grammatical variations exist between Quiche and English, impacting verb usage and time references. Learning new vocabulary is challenging, given the cultural nuances in Quiche words. Writing in English using a Latin-based alphabet requires familiarity with the Latin script. Understanding English innuendos and cultural nuances is an additional hurdle, as language is closely tied to Quiche culture. When teaching English to native Quiche-speaking students, patient, cultural sensitivity, and research-based approaches for multilingual learners are crucial for effective learning.
When teaching native Quiche-speaking students, prioritize their cultural and linguistic heritage for a supportive learning atmosphere, and consider these tips. Respect and highlight their cultural strengths in the classroom. Learn about their culture to better comprehend their perspective. Integrate their culture and traditions into lessons for a richer educational experience. Utilize visual aids and hands-on activities for multilingual learners, offering them extra time as needed. Speak slowly, use visuals and gestures for effective communication. Pair students with the same native language speakers, but at different proficiency levels to support the language instruction. Establish connections with families and community partners to enhance the educational environment. Be patient, offer positive feedback, and acknowledge their linguistic abilities. Develop vocabulary using gestures, drawings, and images. And start with basic communication skills, progressing to academic language proficiency. And don't forget that creating an inclusive and culturally responsive classroom where every student feels respected is crucial for effective learning. Appreciating and supporting each student's unique qualities fosters a positive and inclusive educational environment. The Color in Colorado insert is a bilingual online resource available in both English and Spanish. It caters to educators and parents. This platform offers a range of free multimedia materials, including classroom videos, toolkits, research-based articles, and multilingual tip sheets, newsletters, books, and so on. The provided information covers various topics, including fostering home reading practices, establishing inclusive classroom environments, and assisting English learners in aligning with the Common Core State standards.
We hope you enjoyed learning about the Quiche language as much as we did. To fully immerse yourself in the Quiche learning, please download our presentation to view the videos and links to our synthesized handout and references. Thank you for watching.